John Hancock was established in 1862, so we're one of the oldest life insurance companies in the country, and actually have a fairly unique perspective because there's actually, of all of the, how many people are in Limerick, Bob? How many companies?
1,200.
So there's a relatively small group that are active in both life and long-term care. So it gives you actually quite a different perspective in terms of the customer base. But you can see here that we have, on the life insurance side, we have 2 million customers. We collect annually $6 billion in premium, and we pay out annually $4 billion in death claims. On the long-term care side, newer part of our business, but we have 1 million customers, $2 billion in annual premium, and we're now paying, last year we paid out for the first time $1 billion in claims to our customers. So you can think about the interest that we would have in can we get people to live long, healthy lives. And we've been, I'll talk in a second about the program where we actually partnered with Derek and the folks at Vitality. But we've had a lot of interest in media coverage, et cetera, and people have said to me, I was actually doing a radio interview with someone at NPR, and they said, and it was a taped interview, so she said, I'm just going to stop the tape for a second. We don't have to go on record with this, but this sounds like it would be in your best interest to have your customers live long, healthy lives. And I said, turn the tape on, like that's, because the minute people should understand, this is enlightened self-interest, it's win-win, it's shared value, whatever you want to call it, but it's real. So it's a really important area for us, and it's one, frankly, that we're really just, we're at the beginnings of, not at the end of. It is, though, as Derek said, a little bit of back to the future, because our industry and our company specifically, as he mentioned, actually have a history of caring about wellness and prevention, dating back to the early 1900s, which was relatively soon after our birth as a company. We started, along with other life insurance companies, taking an active role. And you could say, Derek talked about the sort of battle between the insurance industry and the American Medical Association back in whenever that was, 1920 something. And people today still talk about this kind of tension and pressure and battle between prevention and treatment. And treatment gets all the money and all the resources, et cetera. And maybe this was the first time that battle reared its ugly head. But I do feel that life insurance companies, people have asked me, do you think your company has an obligation to worry not just about paying a death claim, but making sure that your customers live a long, healthy life? My answer to that is a little bit nuanced, but I think it's very clear what our obligation is. Our obligation is to make sure that when that client puts their money with us, with the promise that, in 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years, they're going to need that money back, that death benefit or that long-term care payment. Our obligation is to make sure we run a company prudently, financially responsible, so we're there to pay them that money. I think that's our obligation. But we have an enormous opportunity to be an influencer in helping them live a long, healthy life. And it's in our best interest and their best interest. And I think the most interesting part of it is that as an industry, we actually have an opportunity to play a leadership role for all the people, including the governments, that are failing to grasp the magnitude of this opportunity and this problem. Because life insurance companies and long-term care insurance companies can actually put a value on prevention. And we can, with our data and with our experience, we can actually see the impacts that it has. And I'll talk in a second about some of where we're leaning on Vitality and the work they've been doing in other countries around the world to make sure that we have that kind of support. So why does this make sense? Well, we talked about the past. Derek mentioned that back in the early 1920s, when we first started getting into this notion of preventative wellness outreach to our customers, it was really around life expectancy was, I think in the US around 45, lower in other countries, but it was really around hygiene and disease prevention and nutrition, cleanliness, all these kinds of things to stop really communicable diseases. That has completely shifted now. But now what we see is really, people actually estimate that up to 2/3 of all of the deaths in the United States are caused either primarily or substantially by behavioral choices that we make as people. And there's really, we boil it down to three choices that people make: smoking, nutrition, and exercise, that lead to the four leading causes of death, which impact now more than half of all the deaths that, in the US. So you can imagine from our perspective, and again, we have perfectly aligned interests with our customers who also want to live a long, healthy life. This would be great if we could introduce something that would change the game for them and for us in terms of promoting a long life. Now, we've got a lot of work yet to do on the long-term care side, but I just thought I'd show you that, in fact, if you look at our long-term care claims, the primary drivers of long-term care claims, if we wanted to try to have an impact on them, it would be very similar things. It would be about, and you're the experts on this, but it would be about nutrition and activity, seeing your doctor, and obviously some cognitive things. So, so there's a real opportunity for us, which is why we're very, very interested in this subject. So let me tell you a little bit about this partnership that we have with Vitality. And I'll first start by saying, who's familiar with Vitality? Is everyone familiar? Do I need to? Okay, quite a few aren't. So I'll just very briefly, founded out of a life and health insurance company in South Africa called Discovery. And it was a program that they designed to influence the outcomes rather than just try to price risks appropriately, which we all do, and manage a company financially soundly, to try to influence the outcomes by helping their customers improve the length of their life and the quality of their life. And they've been doing it now for almost 20 years in South Africa. It's been rolled out to other jurisdictions and territories. We are now their exclusive partner in the life insurance space in the United States. And it's been very helpful to us to have this partnership with them for two reasons. I always explain this as being sort of 1/3 actuarial science, right? That's actually the easy part. We know why people die. And so we kind of know the things that we can do to, get people to live longer lives, exercise more, eat well. That's the easy part. The tricky part is the 2/3, which is really behavioral science. How do you get beyond that kind of New Year's resolution effect where, I don't know about you, but every New Year's I say I'm going to go to the gym and exercise regularly, and when I go for the first 2 weeks I can't get a parking spot, and then after a month everyone's parking because I'm not there anymore, along with most of my colleagues, right? And so how do you get people engaged in this ongoing basis? And that's where there's been a lot of work around behavioral science and behavioral economics and what motivates people to keep people engaged in this sort of healthy living. So here's very quickly how this program works. And you think about the old model where people sort of buy a life insurance policy, they pay their annual premium, and they, at some point, they're going to collect a death benefit or a long-term care claim. Now, after they buy their policy, they go online, they complete a health review on an annual basis. We call it the Vitality Check. And you get a Vitality Age. And the Vitality Age is nothing more than a kind of easy way for people to relate how are they actually doing in terms of living a healthy life. And it basically is it's not the age on your driver's license, it's the age that we assign based on all of the attributes of your life. So in my case, I'm 50 years old, my vitality age is 54. And my goal is to get that down back closer to my biological age. Now, you look at me and you're probably going, I can't believe he's 54. He looks like a picture of health. And I tell myself that we actually are hard graders. We don't, there's tests you can do in Cosmo and Oprah and things like that will tell you that you're the picture of health. We actually want to encourage our people to realize that they're probably not. So most people, on average, people are 5 years older than their vitality age. So So you get your vitality age, and that really just motivates you to say, okay, what do I do now? And so you can set goals, and you can set goals. I've got goals that say I'm going to try to eat more vegetables every day. And we've got tools and iPhone apps and technology to sort of keep me checking in and motivated. And what happens is I get points for all the little small steps I do to live a healthy life. So I get points for wearing my Fitbit and walking a certain amount of steps every day. I get points for setting goals and trying to meet them. I get points for going to the doctor. I get points for my biometrics when I get my vitality review. If my blood pressure, cholesterol, etc. are within range, I'm going to get points. As I get points, I move up status levels. So think of like an airline frequent flyer program. You start at bronze, silver, gold, platinum. And as you move up in your status levels, you're going to get discounts. You're going to get discounts on the premiums that you're paying for your insurance, which makes total sense. You're going to be a healthier person. You're going to live a longer life. We can charge you less. And you're also going to get discounts with a suite of reward partners that we have, everything from hotels to cruise lines to healthy gear to grocery stores. And so that's really the part that is designed to keep people, make it kind of real for people. The premium savings can be significant. So you can save up to 15% on your annual premium, which adds up to thousands of dollars over the course of your life. But what we found is like some of the smallest things, like you can, on the 10th workout of the month, your cell phone will buzz and you can spin a wheel and win a gift card for $5 from Starbucks. And people are just thrilled with that because it's fun, right? So it's little things, and that's where I talk about the behavioral science. How do you keep people motivated and doing the right thing? I'm going to wrap up by just saying what I'm kind of most, I guess, inspired by with this new program. And we've only been doing this for a year, so it's, for us, the results are pretty new. But I mentioned this a little bit. If you think about the old life insurance experience, right, and you don't need to be able to read all the dots, but generally speaking, 43-year-old here, he buys his policy, he pays his premium on an annual basis. We will probably send him a statement once a year, maybe a privacy notice, and then he'll hold that policy for years and years and years and years, and that's really all he'll ever get from us. Very little engagement with the customer, very little opportunity to influence anything because we just frankly have such little contact with our customers in the traditional life insurance model. You change that to, under the Vitality program, the types of engagement we have where every year you're going online and doing your Vitality checkup. You're getting your points literally on a daily basis. You could be getting points and being rewarded. You're wearing a Fitbit. You're setting challenges with other customers. So there's all kinds of opportunity for us to stay connected with our customers, but in staying connected, to actually keep incenting them and encouraging them to do the right thing to live a long and healthy life. So we're very, very excited about it. It's new to us, but it's been going on in other countries, and we know that the outcomes are real. And it's just one area that I think is an exciting way where we as an industry and we as a company can actually, I think, take a leadership role in helping people to engage in these good behaviors and end up living a longer, healthier life. Thank you.
Thank you.